Hey friends, Kylie here, your host of Dream On with Kylie O'Miller, back for another episode with one of my most valued friends in this world, a brand new head coach in the D1 women's lacrosse scene, and someone who's been a big role model for me. Thank you as always for tuning in. These episodes are recorded from a live Zoom webinar that I hold through the KO17 Lacrosse app and are constructed into this Dream On podcast you have found here. I hope you are gaining some insight from some of these episodes from the people that I have met throughout my lacrosse journey that have imposed so much of their wisdom on me. If you're loving our episodes so far, show us some love in the reviews and rate us 5 stars. Also, be sure to SUBSCRIBE. It would mean the world to us. All right, we've got another special guest this week, and I'm really pumped to get right into it. Kim Hillier is someone that I met throughout my journey as a collegiate athlete at Stony Brook University. She is someone whose energy lights up a room. She's someone who will never fail to tell you how important you are to her. And she is someone who is family and inner circle first. I have learned a lot about patience, grace, and determination from Kim herself, on and off the field. Most importantly, though, that her go-to candy when she's looking for a little pick-me-up is, of course, peanut M&Ms. Throughout this episode, we go back and forth with some of our favorite memories we've experienced together. We had the unique situation of both getting to coach together for 2 years and also having the player-coach relationship prior to that. We have continued our strong friendship as she is taking on a new adventure as the head coach of the Drexel women's lacrosse program, and I am so excited for all the success she is earning. She is someone that has taught me that everything is earned, your people are everything, and to enjoy the little things. I hope you enjoy this episode as I sit down and chat with one of the strongest women you will ever meet. Let's dive in. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Dream On podcast. I'm Kylie O'Miller, and today we have somebody very special in my life. Kim Hillier is here today. A little bit about Kim, if you didn't know, she was my head associate coach at Stony Brook for how many years, Kim? 3?
3 with you, yeah, like maybe 5 or 6 in total. I can't even remember.
3 for me, and a very, very good friend, someone I'm very lucky to call a great friend now. And we're going to kind of dive into her journey. A little bit about Kim. She was a 2-time All-American at Hofstra. She was also a 4-time All-CAA nod there. She graduated in 2007 right here on Long Island at Hofstra. She coached at LAU Brooklyn, Boston University, and most recently at Stony Brook University, as mentioned. And this year in 2022, it's her first year as the Drexel head coach. So she's just an all-around rock star, awesome human, wonderful, wonderful friend, someone you really want to have in your circle. So Kim, thank you for being here today. I'm excited to have you.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. You're the best. Giving me way too much credit.
Oh, please.
You know what they say though, you surround yourself with great people and they ended up making you look great. So super thankful for that. Yeah, just thanks for having me on today. And I'm excited to talk about what I love to do, lacrosse.
Yeah, that's what brought us together, right? And that's what brings a lot of our guests here today. But first, before we dive into lax, I always like to start off to a good start. So kind of diving into what is it? It's Wednesday. It's Thursday, not Wednesday, Kylie. Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. We're in the middle of your first season with Drexel. So I'm very excited to talk to you right now. But let's talk about where you're at right now. Something that you are thankful for today, Kim.
I am thankful that I get to wake up and do what I love to do. As corny and cheesy as that sounds, I think a lot of people in this world, they live lives where they're forced to work jobs that they hate. And I hate that for anybody. I get to wake up and do what I love every day and coaching, and I have an awesome setup, and being able to see my former players slash friends be as successful as you are things that really make me happy that I was a part of your journey. And being able to watch my people succeed is something that I really, really enjoy every single day, even if I don't get to talk to my people all the time because we're all busy and we have our own lives. Knowing that if I can made an impact on their lives makes me feel like I have a lot to be thankful for. As corny as that all sounds, it's actually real.
I think anytime we talk about what we're thankful for, it almost starts off feeling like we're talking about like Thanksgiving morning, like I'm thankful for blah, blah, blah. But it really is
So true.
so true, right? And I love that you said that. Like you have been the one person who's taught me to keep like your circle small, and the people within it are always going to have your back no matter the distance, no matter how, far you go without talking. It's always going to be that one circle of people that you always are going to be able to trust and go back to and be proud of. And that I definitely consider you to be in. So I appreciate that answer very, very much.
I appreciate you.
What is something you're proud to say you've accomplished today? It's only 9 a.m., but I know you're an early riser. So what's something you're proud to say you've accomplished today?
Well, a lot of film. I don't really think I slept that much. Our team is incredible and I love them to pieces, person to person. I just had my first loss as a head coach. Not ideal. And I'm just like anybody else, learning how to deal with it and just making sure that I was up early having my coffee and reminding myself that we got to get better today. And that's what the team deserves. And, I have to kind of coach my ass off for them and do what I do, but we got to get better. And I love them and I care about them. And I end up being more hard on myself, I think, as far as taking losses and even through the wins, I mean, you've experienced it. We take it personally. So I feel like I got a lot accomplished tomorrow. I got a lot accomplished through the morning in preparation for what I was going to bring to the table today, organization wise.
Love that. Starting off on a good foot, and you're going to have a great day, especially after the Dream On podcast.
Let's go.
All right. Last but not least, what is something that you're pumped to go out and chase? Could be today, could be tomorrow, the rest of this week. Maybe it's in the coming months. What's something you're pumped to chase?
Pumped to chase a championship. I really am. And like they always say, what do they say? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life type of thing. Goes back to my roots. I get to do this every single day. There's always that competitive edge you've taught me this more than anybody. I want to say a win or a loss, you were always the first person that come to the office. What could I have given more? Where could I give more? What could I have done better? And like all those little things really add up. That's just like a small example. So like winning a CAA championship is something that this program has yet to do. And that's something that if it's going to help them succeed, I want to bring every day the best version of myself for these young women because they really deserve that. And that's my goal as of right now. They're the reason I'm here. They've earned this. It's not about me. I say it all the time. The stage was set. And yeah, I want to go get that ring for them and then some, because they're very much capable.
Oh yes, they are. Just for our listeners, I had the very awesome opportunity to go watch Drexel at practice a couple of weeks ago. Visited, of course, my friend Kim here and my other friends, Katie O'Donnell and Alyssa Guido, her staff. And I got to witness a really, really hungry, gritty, athletic, excited Drexel team. So I've been following along, obviously, because I love Kim and Guido and KO, but also because I just saw that like special look in their eye, right? That they're hungry for that championship too. They're hungry to do something special that Drexel's never done before. So I've been following as a big fan. So I'm excited for you too. And especially come May, I think there's going to be some exciting things coming for Drexel Women's Lacrosse.
Appreciate that. I'm pumped as well. They deserve.
Yeah, no, you are. You're gonna be ready to run through a brick wall by the end of this podcast. I can see it. You better get right to practice.
I know. I'm like itching right now. Like we gotta get out there and we gotta get better. And it was awesome being able to have you at practice, obviously. And there's a large sense of a lot of the players were starstruck, right? And then you go in there and you're like, Kylie Miller, she's at practice, like. It's interesting to hear like kind of the expectation going in, like they're starstruck, like she's here, oh my goodness. Like meanwhile, like to me. Like, you're a humble, regular person that's one of our closest people. And like, yeah, hell yeah, you're famous. That's awesome. But like, and you earned that, right? You started off quiet and you are who you are. And so you come out and like a lot of the questions I got was, she was so like quiet. Like, what is she like? We thought she was gonna like get in coach and blah, blah. And I look at them and I'm like, but we're so honored. This is amazing. And I'm like, well, let me just tell you, there's something that I always work with Kylie on to date, and it's her calendar. Because she's always on, right? Somebody in that role, in those shoes, they're always on. I said, and Kylie wanted to come to practice. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, come to practice. And one of the things I told him was that like, I left it up to you as to what you wanted to do, and you chose to watch. And I was like, and I actually love the fact that I can be able to experience Kylie not on, where she can turn it off and be a regular person, and not just have to be working and doing all the things that she does. So I was like, I wanted her to enjoy and see the actual practice. So I thought it was really cool. And I thought it was really cool of them to be able to see you and feel that, being that starstruck, and the energy at practice was through the roof. Right. And maybe not just for you. They definitely have a chip on their shoulder. Majority of the time I spend, and it, like, I want every single one of those females, whether they play or they never step on the field, or they're on the brink of stepping on the field, or they're red shirts or they're filming, whatever it is, whatever the role, I want them to know that they're valued and that they can. I think so much of it is just the belief in general, right? And something I try to preach to my team is every day, it's not any different from my roots. It's not. Be yourself, be real, be authentic, and just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. There's not enough of that goes around. There's so much doubt. There's so much, what if I make a mistake? What if I drop a ball? Oh my God, Kylie almost at practice. What if she's gonna think no. You can, and you're gonna. I'm gonna make sure that I leave that lasting impression on you, because you can and you will. And if it's under the guidance, it's gonna happen. You just got to believe, you got to do it. So working on that every single day. I mean, it's one of those things we battle with, and I don't think there's enough of that out in the world. So.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes right into my next point. And that was kind of like our time at Stony Brook together. And like, I was lucky to be coached by you. I was lucky to have you as a mentor. And then I went from a player into a coaching role as well, right alongside you. And then we were more friends and peers in that sense. And you were still a mentor to me, and still are to this day. And I think that like a lot of what you just said is what really shined through in everything that you were teaching me without even knowing it, just because, like you said, right, like you're practicing what you preach. And I think that's another thing that's not too well done in this world today. Like so many people are just talking at people and telling them what to do. And when they turn around and look at themselves in the mirror, are they even practicing what they're preaching? Probably not, right? Most of the times not. And I think that to really have that trust with a mentor, to really have that trust with a coach, or even with a peer or a colleague, you got to be doing it yourself. You got to be doing the work yourself. And that is something that you definitely taught me without even knowing it. I'm sure you didn't even know that you've done that, but definitely had taught me day in and day out. And the other piece was just believe in yourself. Like if you actually can envision yourself making that play, or envision yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone in a way that, like, for me, I hated one-on-ones. You knew it. Every time you would make sure you were down there.
I don't know an offensive player that loves one-on-ones, to be honest.
I don't think anybody likes one-on-ones.
No.
Maybe
you got to do it, right? Like it's
just part of it. But like, you knew that was like a weak spot for me, when I was in college. And that was a spot that like my confidence would take a hit without even having done a one-on-one yet that day. Right. It was just a spot. And you were always that person who would always come up behind the drill and like whisper something in my ear, like, hey, you got this, try it again. Like, you got this, go again. Don't think too much about it. Just go, things like that. And as a young player that's trying to really focus on her weaknesses and really kind of take that next step through, like, to the other side of greatness, those little moments are really what kind of help you take that next step. So before I get into my questions, I just wanted to say I appreciate you if you couldn't get that point across.
Too, and it was an honor. And I know that sounds so like corny, but it was because I respect, your process. Not being noticed or recognized, and every part of fame that you have is earned, and it all goes back to, you see that, your roots. And you're real and you're authentic and you're a good person and you're a good daughter, friend, sister. And I'm a very good judge of character, right? My circle is so small. And we've talked about that, but like you're in it, right? And I do what I do for a living, and I want to be impactful. And when I see somebody that's fallen off, I want to bring them back, right? So like I try to tell even my players, like, if you're struggling, I want to struggle with you. But you're never going to walk alone. Like I want them to be able to come to me for that, because I think that piece is so important. But that's my roots. That's my upbringing. That's who I am. So my point is I'm myself. And if the message is consistent, that's what I don't even call them assistants. So my partners, Rita, right?
Yep.
One of her main things she said to me, and she's incredible. I wanted to come coach with you and work with you and for you because of the impact that you had on me during my playing career.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even need a thank you. It's when you go and get the dream job and I write the letter of recommendation and you're killing it, and I know you're good. That's the fun part. So like, you're thankful for me. I'm very thankful for you. I was able to coach somebody of your caliber who, before you were like, oh, one-on-ones was my weakness. Like there were times, but when I first got there, where I was like, I had to figure out like you're not supposed to give her that many compliments, even though she does things sometimes, and you're like, whoa, like you have to almost like psychologically, yeah, you should be doing that. Yeah. Meanwhile, I walk away, I'm like, how the hell did that go in? What? There you are, like,
I don't know, thumbs up.
Anyway, I went off on a tangent, but like, so
no, that like, honestly, it was just, I wanted to talk about some of those moments that we were able to share, like, together at Stony Brook, because it really like has shaped our friendship. Right. And I think that's like one of the big pieces, back to our point, is like, you have that trust with somebody like that, who's technically in a position of authority. But it really feels like a friend. It really feels like someone you can trust. It really feels like in a low moment, you can go to them because you know that you can lean on them. Like that has always been you. And I think that you have definitely brought that into your Drexel culture, which I'm really excited for those girls, because I said this to you before I came to practice, like, I wish I could come play for you. Like, I wish I had a couple more years of eligibility or something. But
I think I'd give a limb for that.
I'm getting old over here. I gotta play in the pro leagues.
If you're old, I'm extinct.
And as you can tell, our listeners here, me and Kim like to joke just a little bit. So we hope that you're laughing alongside us. Taking a quick little time out from our episode here to say a massive thank you for listening. Dream On started off as a way to have conversations with some of the people that I've been lucky to come in contact with and really dig deep into what makes them tick and how they've become so elite in their spaces. If you're enjoying these conversations as much as I have been, please consider rating us with a solid 5 stars and leave us a review. I love hearing all of your incredible thoughts on how we can continue to dream on together with these episodes. Oh, and subscribe if you're feeling cool. All right, let's get back to our guest. Before we get into like going back to your roots, something you really, really keep talking about, which I love. What do you think, back at our time at Stony Brook together, what do you think were some of our maybe like little or big moments or memories or something like that sticks out to you when you think about our time together at Stony Brook that you would want to share with our listeners?
Coach to player, or just in general? Like
general, anything that sticks out. So a lot of times, like, I come on here and I get to kind of hamper you with questions about your journey. And a lot of times the guests that I have turn it around and say, hey, Kylie, remember when you did this? And it's usually never about me, but I know that we have some really special interactions. So I'm wondering, like I know certain moments in our journey together that I think of, and I'm like, yeah, I really appreciate Kim for that. And we just talked about a couple of them. I'm wondering what those might be on your side of the perspective.
I feel like there's a lot of different things that I can go at. I always like to bring light to things that maybe weren't seen on film, or from the outside looking in, nobody would really understand or know or ever grasp, the work that was put in. Not forget about the coaches, forget about hard work that's part of my roots. There it is. Like, it's a non-negotiable, right? My mother would kick me and be like, "What? Work harder. Yeah, come on. You got to earn." It's, if I'm thinking about you and your playing career, I think about you did what it took to focus on not just all the glamour and glitz highlight reels. It was all the other little things that when you got to a game or a practice, the other stuff just took care of itself. So whether it was a good day or a bad day, and yes, Kylie does have bad days as a player, but I have bad days as a coach, because nobody's perfect. Like, one of the examples I can think of is the extra work that you wanted to put in the ride, right? You wanted to be better at the ride, and you put the time in and would come in and ask questions, or even just like the little things is, from the outside looking in as your coach, as your mentor, and now as one of your close friends, seeing you struggle, but more importantly, also seeing you struggle and being able to climb out of that and not letting anything get to you, because there's nothing that you would see that you haven't already felt, because you put in the extra time and the work. And it wasn't all the BTBs and the highlight. That stuff ended up taking care of itself. You trusted in a process. You bought into the belief. And, where we were both in a very fortunate position to be led by Spallina, and his mind and his brain. And I'll say this till I'm in my grave, the smartest coach to ever walk the planet, men's, women's, anything, is that man. And I will never forget it. But for you, I mean, in general, like, there's so many different moments throughout my time at Stony Brook, my time with you. I could write a book about, and little things that I think about, and I'll go back to, you coming and checking in, whether we won, whether we lost. I said it before, you were always in the first one in the office to say what, and to the point where half the time Spillane and I were like, dude, you had like 8 points, you had like 2 caused turnovers in the rides, like, but like, you look at that, and that might be something people don't know, but they need to know. You did what it took to get there, and the route and the path was probably the hardest, or one of the hardest paths to take, and that you weren't just handed the keys to the kingdom, you earned that, right? And then the relationships and they're forever. So the admiration is like through the roof, the relationships and you buying in, and me coming back. Like, I was there in 2012, and then I left. I went to BU because I never left Long Island, and then I came back, and Defo, who's another good friend of mine, she went to Q's, and he's like, come on, come back, let's win this whole thing, we're gonna do this is what I have. And I'm like,
we almost
all right, buckle up, I'm going. And then I shipped right back to the island. So but the best thing that ever happened to me was him, and the opportunity I was given.
Yes, me too. And it's something that I explain a lot, throughout a lot of the questions that I get to, right? Like, and a lot of the mentors that we have and the people that gave us opportunities, and it's the same for me. So, and that, I think we both know that. And, I think I really appreciate everything you just said. I think that, a lot of times that behind the scenes stuff is stuff that is really like pushed on you by like a mentor or a coach, right? But it's on you to do the work, right? It's on you as a player. It's on you as somebody to do the work and make sure that time gets put in. So something that I'm hoping to push along to the girls that I coach now and the younger generation that I see and I talk to now. So I appreciate you for reiterating that piece right there. Let's talk about your roots though, because I know that this is a podcast. Yes, on the app we can see the video. So hello, all of my app viewers. But on the podcast, you cannot see the fact that Kim keeps turning her computer screen so that we can see the Long Island sign up above her door. So it's a little wooden Long Island sign, and every time she talks about her roots, she turns her screen to that. Now, what do you think when you were younger? Like, what was your journey like to finding lacrosse, right? So before you were an incredible coach, the coach that you're standing in front of me today, you were also an incredible player. Where did it originally start? Back here on Long Island, how did you find lacrosse? And were you playing other sports, and how did it kind of like tie into your journey?
Yeah, so my process was very unique in the sense that it's not something that most people experience, right? Like and to date, you find a lot about yourself through your upbringing, and you find out a lot about yourself through your experiences and adversity and things that cards you're dealt with, right? So I played soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. I was a highly respected varsity athlete at an early young age, but I was never like the best. But in part, a lot of that was I was on the fence. Did I really want that? It was a good outlet for me. And with my scenario growing up, my parents went through a terrible divorce. It was almost a nightmare, and it all happened high school through college. And it's one of those things that happened, and it's one of those things that you experience that can make or break you, or really test you in every part of your being. And my path has gotten me here, so let me be honest as far as that goes, because you won't get anything but honesty. And I, at the time, for my recruiting process, that was back when I'm so dating myself. It's so pathetic. Guys, try not to think I'm that old, please. You would have your 5 official visits, and your senior year, you'd go on them in the fall of your senior year, and then you would pick whenever you were ready. So like schools that were interested. Now, again, my upbringing, we couldn't really afford. I was one of the first Yellow Jacket teams ever. But there's a club program. I know you all know what that is. If you don't, one of the club programs online. I was one of the first teams ever of the start of the Yellow Jackets program.
Making history.
Back when they had just 2 teams, a blue and a gold. Team 1 and team 2.
Now
and,
it
was just one age group. Right. So like now there's like 50 age groups, and there's like every color in the world. I mean, you were one. And so my family couldn't afford to have me travel and whatnot. And I'm very thankful that Carol Rose took me under her wing, and Tracy Weiner, and pretty much scholarship me because they saw the talent, and they knew the divorce and somewhat of the scenario that was going on. And, that was a good athlete that was going to work my butt off. I wasn't the most talented, but I did whatever I had to do. But little did everybody know it was more of the biggest outlet for me to be able to be busy and keep my mind right, because there was a lot of stuff going on that I just never want to really remember, but it made me, and so, and back then I have to note like that. I don't think mental health existed, or the focus of it. And so you lived in a world where, like, I don't know, is something wrong with me? Like, is this normal? Like, this is the life I live? Like, and let me tell you, my mother is the strongest woman on the face of this planet.
Angel.
She is, I wish every one of you on You could meet her because you'll want to put her in your pocket. She's so freaking cute. She's authentic. She'll whoop somebody's butt, and she is just all about family. And she did whatever she had to do to make sure that her 4 kids looked nice and for school every day. And that if she had to work 2 or 3 jobs, she'd figure it all out a way. And she still was able to be there for bedtime. She had to work through the night. And and she would smack me if she heard me talking about her. So long story short, my blood father, he's in my life, but he's not in my life. And it's for all good reasons. Drinking problem, like just bad divorce. And like, I don't need to get into details, but it made me who I am today. And without my mother, I don't know what I would be like at all as a person. And I think I could have taken the path my father went or turned out like him, and I didn't. I also helped to raise my other siblings. And they make me so freaking proud.
And you should be so proud. You should be so proud. Now, that was another question that I wanted to get to. Your sister Janine played at Stony Brook. Did you guys grow up playing lacrosse together? Was it something you bonded over?
So Janine and I are 6 years apart. I always joke when people are like, oh, what's the age difference? And I'm like, 6 years, she's older. Meanwhile, I'm the old one. She's got 2 adorable kids though, holy cow. We would play. I mean, the difference between, and it was hard, we struggled. I was her coach, right? And you know this with T.O. and
yep.
I coached Janine for a year. She transferred from Florida to Stony Brook. And she still played amazing, right? But like those were struggles, right? Like coaching your sister and then going home, and then maybe it was a good day or it was a bad day of practice, and like having to separate the two, and then or not even looking at each other, and like it was never personal, right? And I am so proud of her, and every single day, like she's today the best mother, aside from our mom.
I'm sure she learns from the best, right? I think that
totally. But like, she is amazing. Mm-hmm. My brother, he's amazing. Janine, we're all like this. Mm-hmm. We're very, very tight. And I think that's the best part, because we've been through a lot together. And we have a small crew, right? There's not a ton of people, but we have what we need, and we're unbreakable. I think that's the biggest thing with our family. And but that part, the coaching part was tough, but it was also so rewarding at the same time, because I mean, you got to experience, like, who gets to really experience being able to coach their sister, right? Like, it was really, really an honor, a complete honor. And then that led my pathway also to BU, where I found out a lot about myself and grew and was able to work under different people. And then I came back, and now I'm here.
Now you're here, absolutely thriving, doing exactly what you were meant to do. So I think that's really, really important, because one thing you mentioned, right, is that like every piece of that journey that you just kind of laid out for us was so important to bringing you to where you're sitting right here today, and who you are and who your circle is, and how you kind of conduct yourself every single day, right? And what are the kind of traits you want to bring into your new Drexel culture is, right? And I guess that kind of leads me into my next question. And again, like, I saw the fire and the energy in your group, and I see it with you, even just having this conversation right now, right? Like, you're pumped to get to practice in about 2 hours. And what would you say is like maybe 1 or 2 things that you try to bring every single day, or try to culminate within your team's culture at Drexel, like a must-have for your culture that you think you've brought through from your journey?
I would say the biggest thing is that value of family, right? So me, it's like, what you see is what you get. My door is always open. I want to be there for you. Like, one of the first things that we did when I took the position was I have to get to know each and every single one of them as quickly as possible. Everything else can wait. And listen, I wasn't in a position where everything else could have waited, but right. Like, what I learned was the relationships, it is the success. So little of it is the X's and the O's. It's the relationships you create and the trust and the bond. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? They had this nut job coach coming in that was the associate head at Stony Brook that is like, so such high energy and cares so much that it's like, is she for real? Like, holy cow. Like, no, it's authentic. This is who I am. Like, I care, and I always go roots and foundation, and like, the biggest thing is like, be yourself, right? And you're going to take what's worked as a coach. And you're also going to find out, based off of the new personnel that I have, because this is new for me, what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Every player is going to want to be, what works for player A may not work for player B, coaching wise. I want to know. And when I met them, first and foremost, like in each individual meeting, what makes you tick? What makes you go? What works? What doesn't? I want to know all, because I want to get to know you so well that any struggle you have, we struggle together. I could take that from you, and I am setting you up for success in whatever that looks like in that given day. I want you to know that that's my goal. So that's the biggest piece, because lacrosse, and it's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Spalina used to tell us all this, it's just lacrosse. It's just lacrosse, right? Don't make it more than what it is, right? But if you have a good core and the family and the foundation is tight and the people, they're the right people, I don't think you can lose, right? And you're not going to win it all the time. There's going to be good days and bad days, but like, that's the reality of it. So I would say the relationships, and for them to be themselves, and the trust, and I'm a freaking nut job, but I care, and I would run through a wall and do whatever I have to do for every one of you, and then sign a contract to just say, yeah, I did it. No, I wouldn't have left where I was. Like, I don't require much, but I love what I do, and I love my people. And, I think every day they're learning more and more that, like, I'm on their side.
Yeah.
So
amazing. And again, like, that's just, it's all who you are, and you brought it into the culture of the team. And I think that, by come May, you guys are going to be doing some really, really special things, even though you're already doing them. But those goals, like you said, all the way at the beginning of this podcast, right? Chasing after some championships, some rings, some history, right? Like, and that's what keeps the circle really, really tight, is having those common goals, and knowing that you're competing with each other and against each other each and every day, so that when the actual opponent shows up, it's like, no, we're together now. And we're much, much stronger because we just competed together all week long. So I'm excited. I'm like, I want to come to practice now.
Let's go.
In a sense of, I have a couple more questions before we wrap up, but in a sense of like lacrosse in general. So you have been an incredible player, incredible coach. You've seen the sport kind of excel and grow in general, right? Just as, women's lacrosse. So when you think about like the future of the sport, like future for female athletes in general, and especially in lacrosse, what do you think of like some of the things that you want to see happen in the next 5 years, 20 years? Where do you want to see women's lacrosse? Where do you want to see the athletes for women's lacrosse?
I want to see thousands of you doing what they love to do, but getting their worth too. Like, right? Like, you've earned every ounce of where you are. And I'm not trying to guess your, me, I shoot it straight and tell you how it is. The given right now is the word equality is not even a thought. It's like everything else going on in the world. It's like, when can we get past all this, and everything's just normal now? There's no discussion of equality, and who has more media followers, or a weight room for a women's program to a man. Like, it shouldn't even be like a discussion anymore. And I think, when you look at it from an outside lens, you have to appreciate, and it's not me, right? Like, I'm doing I get to do what I love to do. I'm fortunate, right? Yes. Have I earned it? 1000%. Giving credit to the people that are doing the work behind the closed doors, right, to actually model what the next 5 to 10 years is going to look like. Those are the people that deserve the credit. And it's the people that are out there pushing the sport and the future of the sport, getting young listeners to dream on actually, right? And look in from their lines and say, I want to be like her, you know, and like back to my point of like the impression that you leave on every person that you like. I was put on this earth to help people, to make people around me better. Did I know I wanted to be a coach? No, I didn't know anything at that point. I had to stay close to home because my parents went through a rough go. Could have went to Syracuse. I could have went to Virginia. I could have went to Delaware. I had a lot of, and I think they put an article out back in the day when I was almost extinct, and it was titled Safe at Home. I think my mother still has the article, and I hate ever having to talk about me in general. I don't like that credit, like, but if there's one thing that I can say, it's knowing your personal worth and how powerful and impactful you are to every single person that you come across every day of your life. You know, whether it's, you know, you're walking out of your apartment complex, you go up to a gas station and someone's pumping your gas for you, or you don't know what kind of day they're having, but like how you can impact them. You know, being in this role, what I've learned too is everything that comes out of your mouth that you say is out there. And when you think about that, that's really powerful. Right. So knowing how powerful your words are, I want to inspire and I want to help people. And I was led very well. Shelley Clays from JMU was my head coach at Hofstra. She did a at-home visit during mayhem, and like everything. I want you. Well, we want you. Right. What do we have to do? And I went on my visits and stuff, and I ended up safe at home. You know what it's like staying closer to home, being near your family and what they mean to you. And that was my path, and I made the best of it. And I look back, I wouldn't change a thing. And it led me to my coaching career because Shelley was all in, and she was the leader that I needed. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be playing lacrosse, I don't think, in college, or I would have probably quit, you know. And she told me, no, like, you can, and you will, and we will. And now 2018 wasn't cool at all. It wasn't cool at all. It wasn't, right? We lost that game at BC. I was gutted. And then we hosted the freaking Final Four at Stony Brook. We all wanted to run away and flee the country and all that stuff. And Hofstra, Shelley, my head coach from Hofstra at JMU, a mid-major program, wins a national championship. And I think things go full circle. And as upset as I was,
that was a full circle moment. Absolutely.
That was a full circle moment. And that was almost like I hope for her that knowing that happened, that she knows that didn't happen by accident.
Absolutely not.
Didn't happen by accident.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think that, like, always giving tribute to the people who have helped you throughout your journey is something I also learned from you, right? I think that, like, always making sure that people are appreciated, and knowing that, again, another piece you also just said, right? You never know what people are going through. You never know what kind of day they're having, or what kind of news they might have just gotten. Like you said, at a gas station, they might have just gotten off the phone with some crazy news. And you know, just being able to put your best foot forward and give somebody a smile or hold the door open for them, those little things, like, will mean a lot.
Buy them a coffee in line just because. Exactly.
Buy them a coffee just because, right? Like, you're on the Starbucks drive-through line, like, buy the person behind you's coffee, and you know, things like that. Like, it's the little things in life that could be really, really big things for other people, and you never know. So, you know, again, another thing that you've taught me throughout our time knowing each other, and something that I'll continue to bring throughout the rest of my journey. Okay, so we have some questions from KO17 Lacrosse for you, Coach Kim.
Fire away.
Well, first of all, they want to know, who is Kim off the field? Hobbies, things that you can't live without. What makes your heart happy? Like, you like to do when you're not thinking about lacrosse, which is very, very difficult for us to do, I know. For take ourselves off the lacrosse field and not talk about lacrosse. We always joke, right? We can't even go out to like lunch or breakfast without talking about lacrosse. We try to see how long we can go, but it's just not possible. So who is Kim off the lacrosse field?
Kim off the lacrosse field is a softie. I am that high energy, like what the heck, like she hard on the sleeve, cares so much about everybody around her, always looking to help people. But if you step on my toe, I'll start crying. Maybe not in front of you, but I do have feelings. And
Yes.
and you know, I'm a real person. Hobbies, I love working out, I love the beach, I love food, love to eat.
Aunt, right?
Yeah, I love being an aunt. I said family already, right?
Yeah.
Aunt, family. I love spending time with my people, my friends that I don't necessarily get to see every day, whether it's Zooms and stuff. And I think one of the biggest things too is like, I always say I'm older and back in the day, this and that, but I live a very happy life. And I was raised in a time period where like social media wasn't a thing, right? So I'm not a big, like I post what I'm doing, like, like, so it's no different from you when you get to turn it off. You're like, this is great. I can have dinner with my family and I don't have to be in the spotlight. And even though you love your spotlight, right? Like, because you've earned it, but it's nice to be able to turn it off. So it's something as simple as like when I come home and I take a shower and then I, change my outfit and I sit on and I just sit in silence for a couple minutes and I just take it all in, and then, takes what went well, what didn't go well through the day, and all those little things. Like those are moments that's me, like spending time with my family. That's me. Small circle, but like I have the right people. And when I have a chance to catch up with everyone, I try to make my rounds, but I'm happy-go-lucky and I care a lot. So
yes, you do.
Maybe it's not as exciting, but when you get older,
please.
It's the little things, you know what I'm saying? So
please, it's always the little things, no matter your age, and
True.
you are not old at all. You
True.
could probably still beat me in any sort of running exercise that you put me on the treadmill. Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back. One more question from KO17 Lacrosse before we go into our quick finishes, which is just a rapid fire round of random questions. So going back to your coaching career here at Drexel, if you're looking for a recruit, what are you looking for in a recruit when you're going to those summer tournaments or you see them at a prospect day? What sticks out to you about a player and you're like, hey, yeah, she's got to be a part of my locker room?
Luckily, I'm such a good judge of character, it's weird. Sometimes I feel like I have a superpower when it comes to knowing people before I even have a conversation or get to know them. It actually freaks me out sometimes. So as far as like recruits, the work ethic to me is everything. All the controllable things are the things that like how they carry themselves, their body language. You're always going to need goal scorers. You're going to need lefties, right? Positional players, goalies, depending on the year. It's the people, right? It's, the player that does all the things that maybe aren't statted, because understanding that like my job is to develop and teach. I get to do that. I love to do that. So like, if that's all I have to worry about, but I have the right fit of the player that works their butt off and the player that's going to run through the wall, like being able to teach the skill work, that's the fun part, right? All I need is the right people.
Absolutely.
You have the right people. That's, like how do they handle themselves when they're not a part of the actual goal or the assist, but they have the hockey assist, which for those of you that don't know, it's the assist before the actual assist. That's why it's a hockey assist, because they actually calculate that in hockey. But those little things, like when they come off on the sides, are they engaged on it for their teammates and cheering them on? How are they taking criticism or feedback? Right? Are they throwing their stick, they're throwing their hands up, arguing calls, or are they getting excited in it for the little things, for the betterment of their team, like stuff like that.
I love that. Real true, like tests of character, right? Because like you said, those are the kinds of traits you want to bring into a locker room, because those are the contagious ones. And the really, really special ones too. They're the ones that really make a good team. It's just a team full of people like that with good character, good sportsmanship, willing to do anything for their teammates, and honestly willing to, take criticism and get better, and then just get excited for the little moments too. I love that you said that.
And players that maybe they don't fully believe in themselves yet, but like you see something in them that not other people or teams see. But like, again, it goes back to my roots. I want anybody's path that I cross to know that they can, and if they believe and they know I believe, if I can help them believe in themselves more, sky's the limit. Doesn't matter who they are.
Love it. Oh, you answered one of my questions just by saying that. And that's something that, you would hope to, kind of push out on the people that you get to inspire, you get to impact, is that, hey, I believe in you. I know that you can, I know that you have it in you. I know that you have the potential, and I'm going to be right here alongside you, as you go through the trials and tribulations of it. Right. So, I love that. I think it's really, really important. And I think it's a really awesome piece of who you are as a person and a coach. Are you ready for our quick finishes segment?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So it's very funny because it's called quick finishes, kind of like a quick stick, but, they're really quick questions. You can answer them quickly, or if you feel like they need an explanation, you can. A lot of our guests have gone one way or the other. So however you see fit. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Tacos or pizza?
Both.
No.
Double chicken on both. That's tough because
I know, that's why I start off with it.
I can never turn down Mexican food.
Yep, me either.
Pizza, my roots. I mean, I'm not on the island right now, so I'd have to go Mexican.
Okay. All right. There you go. See, sometimes we talk through it.
Yes.
One band or artist that you'd want to see in concert right now.
For the third time, Celine Dion.
Yep.
Obsessed.
I should have known that. Okay.
Adele.
Ooh, good one.
Of an angel.
You and Allie Kennedy are very similar in that one.
Yay, Kay.
What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I'm not a big TV person in general, but movie wise, I would have to say, like, if it's funny, like a Bad Boys 2.
Okay. Love it.
Please don't look at me and say I wasn't alive during that. I like the oldie but goodies, like The Sandlot, like things like that,
Right.
like Rookie of the Year.
Okay. Okay. What's your go-to candy?
Ooh, peanut M&Ms or peanut butter M&Ms, the orange peanut. Yeah.
Yep.
That was our thing.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put that one in there.
I love that.
We used to just bring each other bags of peanut M&Ms to Stony Brook practice.
And the bags kept getting bigger for some reason. I don't know why. I thought they were smaller.
They started off as the handheld ones, and then they turned into family size very quickly.
And it was a jug.
Then they were gone. I don't know who did it.
I don't know. Who took
it? What is your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Ooh, favorite place that I traveled to. I've been to St. Thomas, St. Martin.
Tropical places?
Yeah, love the island feel. I definitely love the island feel. And then where did I go? St. Martin, I went twice. Once on a cruise when I was younger. And younger, I mean like right out of college. And then 3 years ago, I went back.
Oh.
And it's beautiful. the water, everything, just gorgeous.
The water's the best part of those tropical islands, right?
Yeah, I love it. Everything about it.
All right, last two. Who is one athlete that you'd like to follow or look up to?
I'm gonna go with Steph Curry, love, and then the obvious is Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Side note on that, and I have to give a shout out. All right, I have a buddy, okay, who's currently in college. She plays at a university, who I linked up with because I found out that she had torn her Achilles. And I was connected to her by a coach in their coaching industry. And that was linked up with the rest of the coaches. And now I connect with her every day. And I'm not going to say her name, but I did tell her I was going to call her Kobe. So I tore my Achilles in the COVID year. Story for another day. I was playing pickleball, and I wish it was a better story. I literally pushed off my foot. So like mentally, I understand what that looks like. And so the coach of this young lady reached out and just said, "Hey, do you have any advice?" I said, "Please give me her number." And I ended up getting on a FaceTime with her. I said, "You will never go through this alone." And I understand. I literally understand what you're feeling, and I want you to be in touch with me. So shout out to Kobe. She knows who she is, and she's going through her Achilles recovery. And I cannot wait to see her dominate when she comes back.
Oh, love it. Go Kobe. I'm rooting for you. All right. Last but not least, kind of coming full circle here. We love to do those, but we got the rest of the day at our fingertips here today. What do you hope to accomplish by the time you hit the pillow tonight? What is the rest of the day? What a goal for the rest of the day for you today, Kim?
Get my squad going again, right? It goes back to that belief. And it's never, maybe one of my biggest downfalls is I don't focus enough on me because I care so much about everybody else. But like, that's me. You know, I want to make sure that these women know that how much they're valued today. And even after a loss that feels awful, nobody feels great in a loss, let alone that kind of loss, that we're going to get better today. And then we're going to go through it together, and I will not leave their side. And they're going to walk out of practice today, and they're going to believe in themselves. And I won't let them go a minute without believing in themselves, because I believe in them and I'm here, and they're the reason why I'm here. And then everything will take care of itself.
Amazing.
Sorry, so corny, but like, I'm just speaking.
It's not corny at all though, because it's so you know, it's so Kim. And that's exactly why I'm so excited to kind of just wrap up this episode and let you get to practice so you can do your magic. Because go. Yeah, just like flip some tables and stuff in the locker room. But no, I really appreciate you sharing every little piece of your journey here on the Dream On podcast, because obviously you've had an incredible impact in not only my playing career, but also just me as a person and how I carry myself and how I hope to carry myself each and every day. And a lot of the lessons that I've learned have come from you, and have come from you just carrying yourself the way that you do, and me just kind of watching as this, you know, young person who just wanted to be a little bit like her mentors. And I just wanted to thank you for putting on that kind of show as a role model for me. And for so many of these young girls that you get to work with each and every day. Like you said, it's what you love to do, but I'm sure they are absolutely loving being in your presence, because I know that I have over the last couple of years of knowing you. And thank you so much for sharing everything that you were able to here today on the Dream On podcast. You are the absolute best, Kim.
I appreciate you, and just wow, because like knowing that I impacted you, I'm honored. And like I said, and it goes back to my team and my staff and anyone close to me, I never want to let anybody down, and I will always be there for my people. So I appreciate you having me on this. I have a lot of stories to tell, so a lot of good life lessons. If you ever need me, you know where to find me. Followers and listeners, you're on the right path. Buckle up, hang in there, and keep following. You got a good one right here. So, and if anybody ever needs anything from my end, an ear to listen to, you're never alone. And just know that we got your back.
Thank you, Kim. To everybody listening, thank you for listening, and we will see you next time on the Dream On podcast.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Kylie here. A short break from our conversation to remind you to check in on our social channels. You can find little snippets from our episodes on Instagram at dream.on_pod. And if you're a lacrosse stud looking for a unique way to train and develop into the best version of yourself, like our guest here most definitely has, check out the KO17 Lacrosse app in the App Store. That's KO17 Lacrosse. And at DREAM_ON_POD on Instagram. Come join the fam and we can keep dreaming on together. Okay, enough of that. We back.